All right. Hey everyone, thank you for joining our session. If you're listening to this recorded, the first session of 2025, Jan 5th Sunday, and this is going to be just a cozy gathering where we'll read stories and poems with each other. So that's what we'll do for this session. We've done this before. We call it Tales by Firelight, just like how we sit around a campfire and read stories with each other during a picnic or gathering like that. That's the essence that we want to bring in here, where there's no pretenses, there's nothing to sort of accomplish. It's just a cozy gathering, and the purpose is connection, and that's about it. All right. With that, Puneet, Shubhra, you want to say anything?
Yeah, can I? Yeah, so I'd like to start with this, this book that I picked up. It's called Five Good Minutes in Your Body. It has small 5-minute practices and, like little, uh, really like short this thing. You can really get away finishing something in 5 minutes. So I found this something interesting. And also there's a little bit here about setting intentions. And since we worked on that in the last meeting, end of the year that we had, so I'll just read a little bit from here. So intention, he calls it the second element of your 5 good minutes. So he's just, put together what the 5 good minutes of your day can look like. And just kind of all the practices are about coming back to your body, right? Feeling comfortable in your body. So I'll read from here. So, setting a clear intention is a way of pointing yourself in the direction of an important value or goal. In fact, intention precedes all goal directed movements in our human bodies. So, it's good to learn to identify intention and to practice setting wise intentions. Know that you can be skillful or unskillful when setting an intention. For example, it would not be very skillful to set the intention to never have pain in your body or to never feel upset and to expect that you can actually achieve that as a goal. When setting your intention, be careful not to pick an unrealistic one and put pressure on yourself to achieve it. That would be example of an unskillful intention, one that is actually a setup for harsh judgments, self-criticisms, and possibly despair about your ability to do anything successfully. A skillful intention is much more effective. A skillful intention is more like a friendly guide. It reminds you of your destination and points you in the right direction while acknowledging that important changes, as on any journey, take time. Patience, kindness, and compassion for yourself are invaluable allies for your skillful intention. So, although an intention to never feel pain in your body isn't realistic, a reasonable direction would be to feel more at home in your body and more adept at handling any pain you do feel. A skillful intention does not demand instant or dramatic results. It does not give up when impatience and frustration appears. Instead, when challenges and doubts arise, the skillful intention simply becomes more resolved, kinder, and more patient. And there's one that he's written about acting wholeheartedly. So, acted wholeheartedly, the final piece of your 5 good minutes. Acting wholeheartedly means doing something with all of your attention and available energy. It means making your best effort. If you have already established mindfulness and set your intention, you have built a sturdy foundation for wholehearted action. Again, it is always wise to be skillful and understanding with yourself. You may find it takes some practice to be wholehearted, even for 5 minutes. Much of what we do is done without full attention or commitment for a variety of reasons. The habits of inattention and disconnection can be overcome, but at times it may take some effort, some patience, and some willingness to laugh at your foibles. So yeah, there are going to be times, where we have goof ups and, we can choose to laugh at them. And this part is quite important, the habits of inattention and disconnection. So those are the ones, which we are trying to counter really. And so acting wholeheartedly also goes more smoothly if you can act without attachment to the outcome. In other words, just do it. For example, if you're doing a practice that is intended to foster peace and relaxation in your body, then don't get stuck by constantly checking to see, is it working yet? Instead, relax and just do it, mindfully noticing whatever happens. So just do it mindfully with intention and as wholeheartedly as you can. And you will likely learn something useful, or you may discover something within you that needs care and attention. Or you may have a deeply rich experience or simply have some fun. So that's what this is about. And so it's just like it goes on to how you can live, have simple intentions for being more, uh, you know, wholeheartedly, living more wholeheartedly. I'll read a little bit more. So, when doing your practice, see if you can let go of the attachment to a specific outcome, no matter how appealing the result may seem. Instead, just pay attention and you might discover something you had not planned for, or thought you needed, or you believed could happen. Try giving life a chance to surprise and amaze you, or even teach you something new. Each time you practice acting wholeheartedly, you give yourself another opportunity to be surprised and awakened by life. And that surprise and amazement can occur in other places in your life. Finally, it's perfectly okay if you find yourself feeling silly, embarrassed, awkward, or anything else that seems out of character as you act wholeheartedly doing your practices. Those feelings are probably just a reflection of some inner story or judgment that you're still holding on to. Remember, you cannot make a mistake as long as you give it your best effort doing your 5 good minutes. It's not a performance or a competition. So let curiosity, kindness, compassion, patience, and humor accompany you as you explore different practices and give yourself room to grow and learn. And this could be about anything pretty much. So I liked this and I wanted to share this to start with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Puneet.
So, Puneet, what is that book called? I'll
It's called
probably borrow
Five
it
Good
from you.
Minutes in Your Body. I will share a picture of this. I think it's not clear here.
Yeah,
But I will
thank
send
you.
send a picture in the group. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else has anything to share that's coming up right away? Okay. If not, I can go. So I'm reading from this book, Wisdom from an Empty Mind. It has simple one-page, mm, you can say wisdom snippets almost. So this is called Stop Telling Stories. And in the side it says, our stories are the glue that keep our lives from changing. So, everyone has stories about unpleasant things that have happened to them sometime in their life. In fact, we frequently identify with these stories. They could be about our childhood, a difficult divorce, or how someone has taken advantage of us. What we don't realize is that these stories are killing us. They are the albatross around our neck that doesn't allow us to move forward with our lives. When we tell our story, we usually attract someone who likes to tell theirs. As they say, birds of a feather flock together. However, if we notice that we are in our story and disengage, we can abort mission midstream. As we begin to catch ourselves, our awareness becomes curative. With time, we naturally disconnect from our own stories and don't engage in anyone else's. Okay, that's interesting. I could read maybe probably one more from this. This just says breathe. Breath is the source of our inspiration. Breath is an expression of our state of presence. When we are not present, we hold our breath. Our awareness collapses and we feel distant from life. When we are present, our breath fills, our awareness expands, and life breathes us. Breath reflects our inward and outward relationship with life, our acceptance of the new and release of the old. When we are present, there is no break between inhalation and exhalation as we flow seamlessly with life moment by moment. We are all connected, and our every thought and intention is expressed in our breathing. Hold your breath, and everyone around you holds theirs. Allow life to breathe you, and the world breathes easier. It's so interesting that sometimes I forget myself too that this tool is so easily just available right here, the breath, and to see, and that it's also an indicator, like he says, okay, if we're holding, how am I breathing right now? And can I just take a few deep breaths and it sort of shifts everything that could be happening. So yeah, uh, that was a quick short read.
I keep seeing I saw this many times. I'll just say that. This goes, this is the lost writings of Hussein. So these just have very small things. So on the note that you said, make no effort to meditate, make no effort to not meditate, make no effort to make no effort. Being is not something one does. Being is what one is. So sometimes, the more effort you make, the less you achieve. So that was a very interesting um, observation. This is filled with this. I'm going to read I've read this before, The Moments in Between. I really love The Art of the Quiet Mind. So this is about flying. So the next time you fly or you see a plane, you can remember this. These are the first and last lines of a remarkable poem, High Flight, written on the back of a letter to his parents by a pilot in the Royal Canadian Air Force who perished in World War II. It is a reminder that flying is the perfect time for reflection. The exhilaration of speeding down the runway to take off and soaring into flight. It's an occasion that can always cause you wonder. From up here, you have a totally different perspective. What seemed to be important a while ago now, from this point of view, seems less so. Other parts of life loom larger and more urgent. At 30,000 feet and 600 miles an hour, you feel on the edge of the universe, almost a space traveler. God seems closer. Flying indeed is the perfect time to come back to ourselves. In fact, it's hard to imagine a better opportunity, and the metaphors and imagery suggested by flying support a poetic and spiritual moment. The next time you're in a flight, before you take out the laptop, before you reach out for your cell phone, before you open your book, look out of the window and into your soul or both. You too just might touch the face of God. From the experience I was recently having when I was in India recently and I flew to Jaipur, and the way the clouds were was very different from how they usually are in the flight. I took a picture and it was really, it's like, am I on this planet? Like, because you've flown many times, and yet if you notice, every time you can notice like something different, something unique. So
And
just
what
a
you
point where you can pause.
Yeah, and what you said about reflection reminded me, my husband, he keeps traveling for work, and he says literally that when he sits on the flight is when all kinds of reflection comes to his mind and all kinds of downloads come to him. And I was like, wow, interesting that someone else said that too in a book. Like, yeah. But I think it's when you really like are able to pause and not have any agenda, because now you've sat there, now you're going wherever you need to, and you're like just like, okay, I'm here in the present and things come to you. It's a great moment. Probably immediately reflection and thoughts like that come by. Deeper thoughts which you're
I think,
not allowing.
yeah. So I was going to say that sometimes what happens is we're not allowing thoughts are coming all the time. We're
Yeah.
too afraid to either face them or we are like, so with the, with the cell phones coming in, now everybody's like, you can
Mm.
act busy.
Yeah.
You can keep your mind occupied with things which are not important so that you don't face what is actually important, which you probably secretly know anyway, but there are enough things to distract. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Very.
so taking a pause, taking that breath, whatever, so far we read is like a important reminder. With that, Anita, Sunita, Neeru, Manisha, and oh, Mamta Bhabhi is yes. Oh, my Bhabhi
I
has
have
joined after many
something
requests. Welcome,
here.
Mamta Bhabhi.
I'll go
So anyone
next.
wants, yep, go ahead.
Hey everyone. So I just picked up this book, Positive Quotes for Every Day. I've had this for a long time. I thought this year I will start reading that. It's a very short, there's a very short write up. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
And
short
now we
write
can.
up for each day,
Yeah,
just one
a bowl
page.
of cherry.
Yeah. So I'll read January 5th, A Bowl of Cherries with Pits. Some people are always grumbling because roses have thorns. I am thankful that thorns have roses. It's a perspective from Alphonse Carr. Life is full of glorious things with not so savory appendages. Collies are sweet and lovable, but why does my best friend have to come with such smelly poop to scoop? The love of my life takes my breath away, but even he snores, picks his teeth, and complains about my shopping habits. The good comes hand in hand with the bad. Which part are you focusing on? I thought that's a short and sweet message for the day. And then it ends with sort of an intention. Today, I will focus on my love's positive characteristics, his generosity, his willingness to spend time with my family, his loyalty. I will overlook the time he spends watching sports on TV. I feel as though this Patricia Lawrence knew my life. So that's the message for today.
That's amazing.
Any,
I felt like she knew my life too.
I
yeah,
like to.
very relatable.
Thank you.
Picture and put it on the group chat, please.
This is so relevant for children. Yesterday I was talking to my daughter. She came to me, she sent me a video that she had seen. It had scared her because she saw something about how AI will become very powerful and then AI will, take over the world and we will be all slaves to AI. She saw something like that and she's like, what do you think about this? If this happens, then what happens if this happens? Like, so AI will know if you haven't helped them to become strong, then also they will punish you. So it was
Oh,
either this or so she was like, "Oh, this is very scary. What will you do? What do you think about this?" I said, "I don't want to think about this. I don't want to focus my attention on something like this." I
yeah.
said, "If you focus attention on this kind of fearful thing, that is what will keep growing in your life." And I said that to her. She's like, "Okay, yeah, that's the most smart thing I have heard." Because all the other people she was going to and telling that same thing to her friends or whoever had said that this or that, right? I mean, they've just created an artificial this or that. I'm like, no, you can choose to step out of that and say, no, I don't focus on that at all, and that's not where I'm going. I just want happiness, joy, whatever, contentment that I want in my life, and I'm not looking at is AI going to control or not, is not the focus of my life right now.
Yeah.
So
So good.
yeah.
I don't mind going next. Has
Yes, yes.
anyone heard of this Lessons of an Anonymous Samurai?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I found this very interesting.
What was it? Lessons of her? Do you have the cover or something you can show us?
No, I just got it written. I don't know on my notes.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
It up somewhere, so I don't know where I got it from. Also, it's a Lessons of an Anonymous Samurai.
Samurai.
I have no parents. I make the heaven and earth my parents. I have no home. I make awareness my home. I have no life and death. I make tides of breathing my life and death. I have no divine power. I make truth my divine power. I have no means. I make understanding my means. I have no magic secret. I make honesty and integrity my magic secret. I have no body. I make endurance my body. I have no eyes. I make the flash of lightning my eyes. I have no ears. I make sensibility my ears. I have no limbs. I make promptness my limbs. I have no strategy. I make unshadowed by thought my strategy. I have no designs. I make seizing the opportunity by the hair my design. I have no miracles. I make right action my action. I guess that's all.
So beautiful.
That's very nice.
Hi, Shubhra. Can I share something?
Yes, please go ahead. I'm so glad you joined. Welcome. It's the
Yeah.
first time.
Hello, everyone. This is Mamta from Calcutta. So I wasn't really prepared, but hearing all of you people, it's been very nice, and I thought I should also share something.
Sure.
It's something one of my cousins wrote to me at the start of this year. As we start the year, I am reminded of a lovely concept, yukukuri. Yukuri is a Japanese word for slowly or leisurely. The concept encourages people to find harmony and peace in their daily routines, urging them to savor each experience and moment rather than rushing through them. For example, the Japanese do this in sado, tea drinking, or ikebana, flower arranging. It's a gentle invitation to step back from life and to embrace each moment with intention and tranquility. Very fitting. My hope is that you can enjoy a little yukuri at the start of the year, a period without haste, and then take the tranquility into a joyous year. Hello?
So
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I should share this in this.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
really.
Can
Some
you
of the Japanese
Can you
concepts
post
have
a
so much wisdom, right? Like,
That's
Yes.
true.
When you read something in like this, the concepts in Japanese, you really feel, we need to evolve and think on those lines.
True.
Yeah.
And
Manisha, can you drop the word in the chat? I want to capture
Mamta,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
word.
I
Mamta.
in the chat. I can put it on the YouTube. I really don't know if I can put it on this
Sure.
chat.
Sure,
think
sure.
it's,
Sorry, not
Yeah.
YouTube. I mean WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp. Yeah,
I
yeah.
put
Yep.
it
You
Yeah,
on
the
the
can.
WhatsApp
interactive
chat.
group.
I think
Yeah, the
this is,
interactive group.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little digitally challenged. Staying in
No, no
India,
I
worries.
we
think
have
it's
I
that
all
agree.
good.
luxury.
Yeah, yeah, no. We can
Yeah.
share it in the interactive group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'll just put it on the chat.
You can
oh
put the
yeah,
Thank
whole
you.
message.
beautiful.
It's very nice. And same with
Yeah, the
Yeah,
whole
I
message
will.
is so nice.
Manisha. The
The
yeah,
whole
the ones
message.
who read from this short things. We can just put a picture of it also if it's from a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Then we can, read it at our leisure again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth revisiting for sure.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
takes a bit to
Yeah.
like soak it in, right? Like what each of these messages, in fact, to like really absorb it. So we can sit with it later. If we all send pictures of,
Yeah.
especially since we read short things, we can just send pictures.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That
And
would
yeah,
be
Mamta, and we
wonderful.
no preparation for this session. We just brought out our favorite books or whichever is lying on our table and
Mm.
we're just reading it. So,
No, it's very
uh,
nice that Shubhra has connected me to this. And it was just that I just opened up and saw it's a Zoom session. So I said I must join in,
great.
whatever little we can get in from wherever it's good. Otherwise, we are just running in our lives,
Yeah.
doing
Thank you.
something
You
or the
started
other. Everyone's so
2025
busy.
like that.
So true.
Right.
And
We
that's
can just,
literally our purpose of starting this. And I could feel it today because I was awake in the night, my son was crying, and I'm having all these weird thoughts. And when you go into not gratitude, not grateful thoughts, focusing on all the pits, and every message here seems like, for me, like, here's your medicine for now, like, so it is so much for us, even though we feel like even if we think sometimes that we're offering something and maybe it'll help others, it's so much for us too, like we gain so much
Yeah.
just by showing up and being present here. So it's something so simple as that. So it's beautiful. Thank you for joining us in this.
Thank you for
Thank
joining,
you.
Bhavin.
Thank
One thing
and
I really feel is if we don't do this, this time anyway passes, and we can't remember what we really did in this time. You won't remember at this time on this Sunday, this 1 hour or whatever, 45 minutes, what did I do? But the moments I have spent ever since we started Reason, I remember now. Now my body is ready at that time every Sunday to, meet you people and then share something or learn. Always, always, always learn something. So it's been so beautiful. And I'm so glad on we're starting the new year also on that note. So that's wonderful. Anita, would you like to read something? And Niru, we've all gone one by one. So if you have something,
Yeah, if not, it's fine too. We'll keep going and you
Yeah,
can.
you can just share a story also if you like. You don't have to read it out
yeah,
necessarily. If it's just
yeah.
a story or quote
And then
that
you can,
Even
we're still going,
say,
so you
yeah.
can,
Mhm.
yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'm trying
I
to.
have, yeah, tell a little something. So I just love these moments in between. So I'm just going to read randomly one more thing before.
Yeah, sure.
So it says, finally getting it. Often I find it difficult to get across the idea of doing nothing. I first discovered the resistance to the idea in myself. I continue to discover it in other people. We are just not used to doing nothing. It sounds and feels and seems wrong somehow, like we have to do something. We want to fill up the time with something. At a recent mini seminar at a bookstore, a young man about 17 entered late, wearing his hat backward and carrying a skateboard. He sat down in the middle of the front row and paid close attention to what I was saying. Midway through the presentation, he raised his hand and said, what you're saying is that we should spend a lot of time just thinking about the really important things in life, right? No, I answered. I am suggesting that's something that we should not do. That for once, how about we just do nothing? Don't try to think about anything. My answer was met with a vexed and quizzical look. The look remained. And as I continued the seminar, his attention stayed focused on my answer to his question and not on what I was saying. After a little while, he stood up quite suddenly and smiled at me. He gathered up his skateboard and his backpack and began to leave. So long, I said, interrupting my presentation. All eyes were on him as he took the opportunity to say, so long, oh, and well, thanks for nothing. I appreciate it. And I think he meant it. Everywhere we are like, what can we gather from this? If it is about just sitting and breathing and doing nothing, then also we are like, okay, no, but what's in it? What, why should we do nothing?
It's so
So yeah,
interesting, the confidence of the person who's speaking, right? If it was, imagine if you were presenting and someone actually left like that, you might think it's about you. So you need to be in a really like good space. I was just thinking that,
yeah,
like, wow, how sort, like, you're so sure of your own message, and you're like, yeah,
yeah.
this person must have got it, right? You're giving the positive interpretation to it, so which is,
When do it. Yeah. But
Okay.
seriously, do we really have the permission to do nothing sometimes? I feel
you
like it
know.
really feels wrong to me. I should be folding clothes, doing dishes, doing, I mean, maybe you being in US, you do so many things. Or doing something intellectual, journaling, doing some art, like something, playing with my kids. Like, I don't think I have any time for nothing.
Oh,
So it is interesting.
I try and make those moments very, very consciously, and it's few and far. Like, I try and squeeze in a few. Like, when you're holding your cup of coffee and sitting out and look, go sit out and look outside or whatever it is, or just sit on your couch and
Yeah.
just be like, sometimes come to a room where nobody else is going to talk to me for a bit and just sit there for a few minutes, even if it's for a few breaths, right? Like, and
Yeah.
that's it. That's when you start to get a taste of it, and you're like, wow, this is so precious, and you need to carve that out for yourself almost sometimes. Yeah.
And I
It's
think
hard.
one thing is if ever I do that, and I feel that the time stops.
Yep.
When you stop running, the time stops.
Yeah.
Yes, that
The
is true.
more we run, the more time is just flying by and never able to reach, the goals of the day, so to say.
True.
And then when you just sit and do nothing, actually, if that ever happens, it stops. It's
I
like a
agree. I agree with you because when I am rushing to work and I say I'm not going to run for the bus, if I miss it, I miss it, and somehow the clock seems to turn back, and I'm never late.
Yeah. True.
Never late. So my son teases me, Mom, you're doing black magic nowadays. I said, this is white magic, not black.
Yeah.
white magic.
Because
True.
I see the whole thing is actually the judgment is also our own that, oh, I should be doing something, right? And the
Yes.
permission also we have to give ourselves only that,
Yeah.
yes, it's
Yeah.
fine to sit and do nothing,
It's reminds me
and
of
Mm.
what
sit
you said
and
in the
read
beginning, Puneet,
something.
about intention is your first step to like getting anything done. Even the doing nothing, you set an intention that you want to do nothing, right? Like, and then the time finds itself to you. So, which is amazing. Like, yeah. Sorry,
Like I
Anita,
was
you were
saying
saying
earlier,
something.
sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead.
No, like I was telling them before we started the recording that I have started, I've given up making New Year resolutions. I prefer to set consistent, sweet intentions, short, sweet, simple intentions on a daily basis. And it works wonderfully. And I can control, like I have control over the day. I set an intention in the morning that I want my day to go this way. And in the evening, when I reflect, I say, oh my God, it just went the way I wanted it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much better than one big overarching some goal that, okay, when this happens that day, I will be happy. Yeah, it's so much nicer to do it on a daily basis.
Okay, today I'll eat healthy if I want to lose
Yeah.
weight. Today I'm going to watch. So if you do it consistently,
Great. Sorry,
Okay,
Anita,
I
I'm
need to
going to
say
give
something.
Anita a chance.
Yeah, I was trying to say something.
I
It's
got
going back to the previous conversation regarding the Japanese culture.
it.
We live in such a throwaway society. Everything, just pick it up, throw it away. Whether it's useful or not, throw it away. So in my showroom, I found a teapot. It's made in Japan and it is $120. It arrived broken.
Mm-hmm.
I told my daughter, look at that. Yesterday it was $120. Today it's garbage.
Mm.
According to Japanese culture, every single thing should have value. And the Japanese people take it, stick it back together with love. And then on the cracks, they put gold
Yeah.
paint
Yeah.
and show you that you're not useless ever, even as you get older. I told her that. She brought the teapot home. Now, I'm Indian. Broken stuff in my house makes me want to dance up and down. So it's sitting there wondering when it's going to be repaired, when it's going to be painted with gold. But time has to continue, and we have to teach our kids one way or the other,
True,
right?
true. And I think there's a word for that too in Japanese. The
That
method, the
is
method is,
kintsugi. That's
yeah,
kintsugi.
kintsugi. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kintsugi.
Oh,
Kintsugi
beautiful.
is
I'll
the
tell her
word.
that.
Yes.
Get to your kitsuki.
Yeah, that's so true. I think, I mean, I know I keep circling back to parenting, but I think we should do the kintsugi thing in parenting also, because a lot of time, like at least for me, I think like, okay, this I handled it wrong, like I broke something,
I
so
know.
I could give that extra sparkle of gold in it, saying, okay, So one thing I do definitely do is I tell my kids that, as you are being kids for the first time, I'm being parent for the first time, and you know, you you change every day in age, and so do I. So like I learn how to deal with a now teenager, right? Because it's I can't say that I know everything, because I've been seeing you for now 14 years, because you change every day and I change every day, so we learn. So but we can add this layer of gold to all the
Yeah.
mistakes where we think we broke things.
And
So
the
Yeah,
thank
kids
you,
so
raise
Anita.
you.
yeah, so true. And that reminds me, like, somebody told me as parents, when we actually sort of, if we have kids around like whatever 25 30 whatever, and you say your brain is not fully done until you're 35, so in fact even you don't know enough about life, or even your brain is not fully mature until you're 35. So at least in the initial years, you're literally winging it, and I think even after that we are continuing to wing it. Like you said, we don't know, we don't have a manual for this, we're just doing what we know, and of course we'll goof up. And yeah, it's just about giving ourselves that grace that's so hard sometimes, which is definitely true.
Because they remember. Sometimes they'll tell me, no, but you said that this has to be done this way. Today you're saying something different. Because I'm like, no, today I know more better maybe. So I'm changing this, and everything is dynamic. So then, yeah.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, that
Cool.
goes on.
From
Who
this
else wants to
neuroscience
read?
perspective,
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying, who else wants to read? Anybody wants to read something more?
I
Wait,
think we have
yeah,
Neeru and Sri.
I'll read after
Sri,
that. If Neeru
welcome.
wants to
Just
read, yeah.
join. Yep. If we are just reading or sharing something from our phone or wherever, something we found of value, and like it's somehow all connected. So it's very interesting.
It's true.
You're welcome to share if you would like.
If not, you can
So
listen.
from
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
saying from the neuroscience perspective, what I found the most amazing when I read that is that your brain has plasticity. At whatever age there is, you can change it. So I wasn't aware of that. I thought, okay, now I am the way I am. Like I kind of had a very fixed thing till I read and understood that, oh yeah, it can change. You can fire the neurons and which wire together, the wiring can be changed. So that was very interesting, and it was very freeing for me when I first understood that, okay, like I can change, my mind is not fixed in some way that, okay, now I'm 40 years old, up to set ho gaya. It's not like that. It really can change. So
Thank God, right?
thank God. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
pandemic showed us,
I know.
Mm.
showed
It
us,
brought
yeah.
so much change,
You
yeah.
can say, oh my gosh.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
much.
so many new ways of beings evolved. Even offices changed their ways. Everything that used to be a certain way changed. Yeah, a lot of things. So everything is possible. It's so good.
Even
Puneet,
so many jobs have become obsolete.
yeah.
Yeah. And then new jobs have come up as well.
Like
So
influencers
it's
and all that,
always,
we never heard of that. And they are like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
yeah,
Puneet, you
lots of
wanted to
things.
read, right? Go ahead. And then maybe
Something from
So
that
I'll.
I
note
was
to self. Note to self, maybe
Yeah,
one of
Note
them.
to Self. So this is a book. It's collected in by Gail King, and so she's written. So these are notes by like famous people who've written a letter to their younger self, right? So she's collected from Oprah Winfrey. She's collected from other there's sports people. There's people who've basically gone through something very tough in life, and then looking back, they've written a letter to themselves. There's one from Jane Fonda. So I'll read the one from Oprah Winfrey herself, and then she's left like blank pages at the end. You can write your own note to your younger self. So, like we know Oprah Winfrey, so I'll not read her intro. What she writes is, "Dear brown-skinned girl, dear beautiful brown-skinned girl." And I use the word beautiful because I know that's never a word you would call yourself. I look into your eyes and see the light and hope of myself. In this photo, you are just about to turn 20, posing outside the TV station where you were recently hired as a reporter. You look calm, happy, but I know how scared you are. If I could say anything to you, it would be, relax, it's going to be okay, girl. You're proud of yourself for getting this job, but also uncertain. Uncertain that you will be able to manage all of your college classes because you're still just a sophomore and work a full day's job doing the news. Even so, your biggest concern right now is how to manage your love life with Baba. Yes, you're dating someone named Baba. On this day, you brought him to the station to see where you work, hoping he'll be proud. He seems less than impressed. The truth is, you can't see it, but he's intimidated. You don't know this, though, because you see yourself only through his eyes. A lesson you'll have to learn again and again and again, to see yourself with your own eyes and to love yourself through your own heart. So I'll read that part again. So this is a lesson you'll have to learn again and again and again, to see yourself with your own eyes and to love yourself through your own heart. You've spent too many days and years trying to please other people and be what they wanted to be. I understand how and why that happened now. You will have to learn that the wounds of your past, being molested from the time you were 10 through 14, getting whipped as a young girl by people who said they loved you because you stepped out of place, and not even being allowed to show any anger or crying afterwards. That damaged your self esteem. If only now you knew how much. Yet through it all, you managed to hold on to a belief in God, and more importantly, God's belief in you. That, my dear, will be your single greatest gift. Knowing that there is a power greater than yourself, and trusting that force to guide you. The trajectory of your life changed the day you answered that call from Chris Clark, the news director at WLAC TV. Your response was ignited by the words of your then favorite Bible verse. Remember Philippians 3:14? You used to say it all the time. I press toward the mark for a prize of the high calling of God. Knowing there is a high calling is what will sustain and fulfill you. From where I sit now, viewing your journey, there really are very few regrets, which means a life well lived. Even then, you understood that success was a process and that moving with the flow of life and not against it would be your greatest achievement. You have made me proud, Oprah. So, yeah, that's a note to herself.
Wow. Amazing.
This was amazing. The middle line that you read one more time was so good.
Yeah, I think you should
Because
post,
you should,
definitely post that.
yeah, you
Yeah.
should just post that line for sure.
Yeah.
And I love the part where you're saying because she was seeing herself through the eyes of
Guys,
the
someone,
boyfriend, and
because she had
yeah,
no self-esteem, right? That was
no
the
self-esteem.
like, but then she
Yeah,
can see that in hindsight. She couldn't see it then, right? Many things
yeah,
like that we only can see in hindsight. Why
And
was I like
we
that?
all do this, right? We give the power to someone who we feel is who we're looking up to,
yep,
or whose approval we seek or validation we seek from. It could be the world, it could
yeah,
be nowadays social media, like so many people we give the
yeah.
power to instead of keeping it's with us. Like we need to sort of such a beautiful line, like, yeah, see yourself through your own eyes and through your own heart. Or yeah, it's so good. Thank you.
I loved it.
This is beautiful. This is
And
really
also, like
great.
now, she says that she can look back at her life with very few regrets.
Mm.
So, that's where we should, like, kind of, if there is any intention or goal, I think that's where we should go work
Tonight
towards.
I'm going to write a note
Basically,
to
look
myself.
back at a regret-free life.
Yeah.
Not have regrets. Yeah.
I think for me, I think it triggered two things. One, of course, to see myself not through the eyes of us. For me, a lot of times my children would say, okay, mom does this and mom doesn't do this. Mom dresses this way and mom does things this way, right? So one is always that you have a thing. And the second most important part is I think the children see themselves through our eyes, right? So I think the flip side of it would be to empower the children to not view them from any sort of limitations, even though we may have, like, you would know, okay, my child is good at this and not good at this, but I guess they are viewing it from our, you know from how we are viewing
Then,
them. So it's in turn, so when they write that letter, if they are viewing us, themselves from our eyes, it should be even more expanded. It should
true.
be like, everything is possible, that kind of view. So just a reminder, not that I have it, but it's good to see
Keep
that flip side of
aligning.
it. When
Yeah.
you have, so once you're a parent, you have that power to sort of influence a young mind in such a way that they can think that they are limitless. That,
Right.
just because
And
you're
I
a girl,
think,
just because you're this, that, blah, 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 you can't do. Like we try to change it, but I'm talking about believing it,
Yeah.
Because children are a
not
mirror
preaching it.
reflection of us.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
somewhere, it's our own inner child. A lot of that
Yeah.
is at play
It's
when we are
projecting, it's projecting,
children.
right? Yeah, we're
Yeah.
projecting so much onto them. Yeah, so true.
Like now, if I look back and see everything that I have done for my daughter in the last 10 years in terms of materially buying things for her, and I think it was more, that I might have wanted those things as a child. So, ye bhi la
Yeah.
do, let me buy this, let me get this, let me get that. Me and my husband, I think we both do it. And then now I'm seeing it more and more as, does she really want it or are we doing it? Like, who are we doing this? Like, where is this coming from? You sit and look and notice it's very subtle, but because I think we never grew up with so much, like I
Yeah.
guess we didn't, the world didn't have this much stuff anyways, but also, from whatever we would have wanted at that time. So we thought, okay, she also wants this. So let's get this. Yeah, it's a lot of your own inner child uh, wounding or whatever that is at play in parenting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think from the
On,
beginning of this session to now, breathing and allowing are the two
yeah,
words coming to me from what everybody has read.
yeah.
Breathing, and that involves that yokori, and then just doing nothing, and also allowing things to be.
Mm.
That it could be as simple as that.
I'm reminded
It
of this
doesn't have to
poem.
be something very complicated, right?
Yeah, I'm
It
reminded
doesn't
of
have
this.
to have steps.
True, true. I
Sorry,
think
go
that you're
ahead.
right. You summarized the message from this session so nicely. I'm reminded of this poem, Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. Maybe I'll just read that out to close. It's
Sure.
kind of similar. Um, okay. So it says, you do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
Wow.
This
Beautiful.
is one of my favorite poems. I like suddenly it hit me like this is somewhat somewhere where we're going to, like, just allowing yourself to be yourself finally. And yeah, all the good things.
Mary Oliver is amazing. I really like a
Oh
lot of her
gosh.
poems. Yeah.
What perception and what ability to capture the beauty of nature and then sort of bring in this life lessons almost that she does. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we
I'm
are at 9:44. I just want to mention a little bit about the next week. I'm going to just say that we are going to start a gratitude challenge of 21 days, starting from Makar Sankranti Day, January 14th. And there'll be a prompt or a story, a video, something. And we'll talk more about it on Jan 12th in the session. And then we'll do some gratitude journaling and gratitude meditation and sort of kick off. But the 21-day challenge starts from January 14th. So this is something you'll see in the WhatsApp group. And then you can also, share in the interactive group if you feel like something that you think will inspire others. As I was saying, like everything exists. We're just trying to change our perspective that we focus those on those things. So there'll be a small prompt every day for the 21 days, or maybe a share, a story. I believe in the flow, so we'll do as it comes every day, but we'll try to be mindful and more notice what is good. Right now, what I'm noticing is good is that thank you so much for, to all of you for coming and joining us and sharing. And I think it's the collective energy always that benefits us. So that's why for the gratitude as well, I would love for you to join and ask your friends to join, whoever can, and we can do this. And then the idea is that you carry it forward, but it's a good to have a kickstart. So I just wanted to say that it'll end on February 3rd, but on February 2nd, we'll again, in one of the sessions, we'll have a share on, did you experience any shift or whatever insights you want to share or going forward or anything else like that. So that's what I wanted to share. So do join us next week with the journal and a pen, and we'll do some gratitude journaling and meditation, and we'll share stories about gratitude. Okay. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Shubhra.
All right.
And yes,
Thank you, everyone.
sorry, and do share the word with everyone you know. It's free. They just need to be part of the group. If they're on the Bizan group, they'll be able to see the prompts. They'll be able to join us for this. And you
Yeah.
don't have to. And Shubhra, it's not. They don't have to do it real time, right? You'll post the prompt and
You
they
don't
can
have to.
anytime.
Yeah. Yeah. As on this call, everybody's from a different, geography as well. Like, so you're in different time zones. You can do it at your own convenience. You can watch the small video message. I mean, I'm going to put some out. So whichever time, and it's free, of course, and you can just join in, and please feel free to share, because I think the interactive group sharings mean a lot to us and to everybody. On that note, I'm also reminded that for those of you who attended the intention session, reflection session, we did send a form out for feedback. Some of you have filled it, but we'll probably send it out again today. So if you get a chance and you just saw the PDF and you have any insights, so do let us know. It just helps us prepare better for the next time, so we know what works for you, what you like. And on that note, also, I know a lot of you attended the Enneagram session that was offered. So we will be sharing a feedback form for that as well. So Padmaja is sharing that, so it will go on her website, or as a testimonial to her work. It was an amazing, amazing session that ran for like almost 3 hours, I think, and I think we had like 32 people or something, and everybody was sticking around for the whole time. So I know a lot of you loved it. So we will be sharing the links today. So kindly please take a few minutes of your time. It will inspire us to continue.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you
right. So with
everyone
that,
for joining.
if
Yeah.
anybody wants to say anything, or we can close.
I'm going to write a note to my son today.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, right. Good. All right,
Thank you,
wonderful.
Puneet, for sharing that.
Everyone.
Have a
Happy
wonderful
Sunday.
rest of your day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.